Hello, YouTube viewers. My name is Dennis Ramsey. I live in the small town of Kempful, Nova Scotia. If you ever want a folk art painting or an abstract art painting, please come to 27 Canaan, C-A-N-A-A-N Avenue, Apartment B, Kempful, Yellow House, White Trim. I live in the upstairs apartment. Anyhow, you can call me at 902-365-5044. I sell folk art paintings and abstract art paintings. They cost only $100 each, up to $200 each. Anyhow, a friend of mine wanted me to do a video on domestic violence. So that's the reason I'm doing this small video talking about domestic violence, why it happens, and to prevent women from getting killed all over the world by their partners, or vice versa, the woman killing the husband. It can go either way. You know, that can go either way. Anyhow, the reason there's so much domestic violence in the world and partners beating each other up and killing each other is people fight over petty things. They could fight over money, it could be jealousy, they may fight over enviness, they might fight over petty things. They might be fighting over a $5 bill or a slice of pizza, or going out to the movies when they shouldn't have, meaning they spent the last 20 bucks on the movies and popcorn. Anyhow, in most houses, domestic violence starts out with a little argument, and that's where it starts. The husband and the wife start verbally arguing, and I've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times in my lifetime, where women will start nagging and bitching, and that leads to bad things. The husband will be sitting in the lazy boy watching a movie or cops or watching a show on TV. Then the woman will start nagging and bitching at him, get up and do this or be like this, or, you know, that's how it starts out. It starts out with nagging and bitching. Now, the reason I'm going there is to show you what it can escalate to. Now, the woman will start bitching at her husband, why don't you mow the lawn, or why don't you cook supper, or why don't you take the kids out to the park, or whatever. Anyhow, the bitching and nagging makes the man angry, and it escalates. He'll get madder by the day if she keeps nagging and bitching at him. Then all of a sudden, I've seen in many domestic disputes, I've seen it firsthand, how the husband will hit the wife or vice versa, the wife will hit the husband with something, but it leads to something bad. What it leads to is either the husband or the wife killing each other. Husbands have been known to kill their wives, and that's because the wives nag and bitch and pick at the guy for an hour or two or three. Then the man snaps. The man snaps and goes crazy, and he'll pick up a knife and cut her up in pieces, or he'll grab a gun and shoot her, or he'll beat her to death. But the reason I wanted to talk about domestic violence is to show you the causes, the whys, the wants and don'ts. Anyhow, it starts out with a nagging wife bitching at you and hauling at you for 2 or 3 hours, chewing your asshole out, and then the man snaps. And then when the man snaps, he goes bad. He either beats the wife to death, or he'll stab her to death, or he'll shoot her, or whatever, strangle her, or whatever. But the reason I wanted to make this video is to prevent domestic violence in the world. That was the purpose. Here's the first thing you don't do. You don't nag and bitch at anybody for 2 or 3 hours. If you start doing that, the man could snap and go bad. And if he goes bad, God knows what he'll do. Might strangle you, he might knife you to death, he might shoot you. Hard to say what he'll do. That also applies to the wife. For the husband should never nag and bitch at the wife neither. Because the wife might get mad, pick up a steak knife, and drive it right through his neck. So, domestic violence, it's the cause, it starts out with a verbal argument. And a nag and bitching argument, that's where it starts. Then it escalates. It escalates into a beating. Then it escalates maybe into a knifing or a shooting or a strangulation. So the idea of it is for two people to live in a household, you got to get along. If you don't get along, there's going to be awful conflicts and chaos. So the solution is for the man and woman not to verbally abuse each other. If the man is cursing at his wife and bitching at her, that's going to lead to something bad. Vice versa. If the wife is bitching and hollering at the man, that's going to lead to something bad. So the idea of it all is to, anyhow, my cat just interrupted me when I got to restart this. Cat's acting fucking snaky today.